Hi everyone. So this is just going to be kind of a quick tutorial on how I use Adobe Premiere to edit videos. It's just the most simple tools and kind of the stuff that I use 98% of the time. And so I'm just chosen some home videos from a hike that my family and I did about 5 or 6 years ago. And when you first open Adobe Premiere, you're going to get the choice to open a previous project or create a new one. And so I chose new, and I gave it this title, and then I gave it the location for where I want to save it as I work on it, because Adobe Premiere is going to save files, like the project files, as you're working on it. So you have to tell it where you're saving it up front. And the rest of this stuff, I literally just leave alone, and I'm going to hit OK. Okay. So this is the project window. Basically, down here at the bottom left, this is where you're going to pull the media into the files you want to use. The bottom right is your timeline. So this is where you stack them up and you're going to cut things and you're going to scroll through and see, where you want to do stuff. The top right is your preview pane of the project you're working on. And then the top left can be a number of different things depending on what you're doing. It can be a file browser. It can be a pane where you work on particular clips. It can be a preview window for the different clips instead of the entire project as a whole, like this one is. So it's really going to depend on what you're doing up here across the top. Now I'm going to do editing, and I don't have any files yet, so it says import media to start. You can drag them, you can go to File Import, or you can just double click on this window and then choose what it is you want to bring in. And so this is going to take me a second. And let's just bring all these in. All right, now, so here's my files, and I don't really care what order this is going to be, so I'm going to click and drag them in one at a time to make sure they're not all selected. When you first import them, they'll all be selected. So if you import them together, and then you click and drag them over here, they'll all move in together in the order they're listed here. So I am going to drag one over. And let's do this one right here. And let's do this one right here. All right, so there's 4 videos. Now, it's really small right here. It's hard to see what's here. Your slider here allows you to make them bigger. So if you grab one end of your slider, you compress the slider bar, but it stretches out your timeline so you can get into the details a little better. And here is your video and your audio tracks. They are linked together. You can unlink them. For example, if you want to get rid of an audio track, you just choose and right-click, and you can unlink. Now, if you do that, and you slide the audio or the video over and unsync them, then, of course, the audio and the video aren't going to look right. Here's your timeline slider, and this is called scrubbing as you rub it back and forth to get to wherever it is you want to go. All right, so say I want to cut out a part of a video, like I want to cut out part of this rocky stream here because it's too long. I'm just going to move it to where I want to cut it. And then what I do is there's a little razor blade tool, and I click it, and I come over here, and then I slice it. And then I change back to my arrow, my selection tool. I choose what I want to get rid of, and then I go to ripple delete. If I clear it, it clears it, but it leaves a gap. If I ripple delete, it gets rid of it and closes the gap. So that's what I want to do. Okay. So that's a simple way you just trim things up. Something else you can do, right here you see that this is going from one clip to the next, and it's not exactly smooth, it just cuts. Okay, let's say I want to put some kind of transition there. I want it to fade from one to the other. So I'm going to go over here to Effects, and I want to go over here to Video Transitions. And the most professional one that I do is Dissolve, and I just usually do Cross Dissolve. And that fades from one to the other. And you literally just take this and drag it to where you want your transition to be. So if I do this on all of them, that's fine. There we go. Yeah. All right. And so now, if I play it, it fades. Okay. At the beginning and the end, I'll actually do this dip to black. So the start of my video will be black and it will fade in, and then the end of my video will fade to black. So that's a really nice basic transition you can do. Okay. So I have shown you how to slice up your video and trim it. I have shown you how to get rid of parts you don't want. I have shown you how to add transitions so that it fades and fades to black. Now, if you want to add a title, for example, you usually start with black, and you'd want just some black video at the beginning of the video. And at the end, for example, if you wanted credits, you could do the same thing. So to do this, you're actually going to go up here to the menu, and I know you can't see it, but you're going to go to File, and then under New, you have Legacy Title, and you have black video. So I'm going to choose black video. It's probably just barely in here. And it wants to know what the settings are. The width and the height settings are the resolution for your video. It should match to whatever your video is. And so I'm just going to leave all of that alone, and I'm going to hit OK. And now in my project, there is black video. So I'm going to take this black video, and I'm going to put it here for a second. I need to move all of this. And I'm going to put the black video in place, and ripple delete that. And so now I have black video. There we go. So that's perfect. If you want more than 5 seconds, you can stretch it out. You can right-click on it and say speed duration, and you can literally just increase it here and say you could type in 10 seconds of video. I'm going to add some more black video to the end. There it is. And now I'm going to add a title. And you do that again by going to File, New, and Legacy Title. Again, what's the video? This title is going to be, let's just say it's the intro. And so now I have the title. And here it is. It's going to put it wherever my slider is. So let's say I want it at the beginning. I'm going to put it right there at the beginning. And here I'm just going to choose a font, Arial Bold. I'm going to say I want my title to be Zion Narrows 2015. And I'm going to center it a little bit. And just something really simple. That's all I'm going to do. All right, so that is my title intro. And now what I'm going to do is I could actually replace the black video with that, or I can put it right here on a new video track. All right, so let's say I'm going to replace that. I'm going to just clear it. I'm going to drop this in place. And since I already had the fade right there, it should fade, but let's check it out just in case. Nope, it doesn't fade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Effects. Let's do a cross dissolve. Cross dissolve will work right there. There we go. So now let's try it. Nice. All right. Okay. If you want to do, words on the screen. So for example, this is the beginning of the hike. This is at a place called Chamberlain Ranch. So I'm going to do one more. And so I'm going to go back to Legacy Title. This is still the title. And we're going to call this The Ranch. And I'm going to choose that same font just for continuity's sake. I'm going to choose the text tool, type tool. And I'm going to say, well, let's put it right here. Okay. Well, that's a little big, so let's shrink that down. There we go. All right. And that is all there. So I'm going to go back to my project panel. And then I'm going to make sure this is there. So this is kind of a picture-in-picture. And if I want to extend it, I just drag it out a little bit. And same thing for the effects here. If I want this Chamberlain Ranch title to fade in and fade out, See, right now it's just going to
All right.
here. It's not appearing. Hold on. There it goes. I had the sizing wrong on my video. All right, so hold on. See how it just pops up? Let's say I want it to fade in. Again, same thing, effects. Let's do cross dissolve. One at the beginning, one at the end. And now, let's move it a little bit so it's a little separated from the title.
All right.
When you're all done with your video, you've done all the editing, I usually go up and go to File and make sure that I save. I know you guys can't see this, but I just go to Save, and it saves my project. And then I'll go to File and Export and choose Media. And then it will give me the export window. And here I have all my, H2, the format H.264. This is standard like YouTube video, high definition. That's perfect. That's an MP4. If you want to change the name, so for example, I don't want the name to be beginning flow, so I'm going to click that. I'm going to change the name to Zion Narrows 2015. And then choose where you want it to go. And you guys all know how to do that. Ooh, it's a lot. And then you can change other settings you want here. You can tell it to only export the video and not the audio. You can mess around with this stuff as you want, but usually I'm just going to leave all this stuff alone. And then down here at the bottom, you have queue and export. Queue is if you're going to do multiple videos and you want it to just all do it at once. So you could queue it up, and it's not going to actually process it yet. And then you could go do another video and queue it up, that kind of stuff. I'm just going to say export. When you say export, it begins your export. And so really, guys, that's it. It's pretty simple stuff. There's a lot you can do with Premiere, and so it's going to look really intimidating. But if you just know those basic tools, that's 95% of what you're going to want to do in Premiere. So I hope that was helpful, and sorry that it took so long to show you that. But there you go. Most video editing programs also have very similar functions and tools. It's just a matter of finding them in the menu. So whether you choose Adobe Premiere or something else, once you've learned one, you can figure out how to do the other ones. So that's it. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.